Let's talk about the economy and stay with me here because this isn't a finance video. Most of us think of money, markets, business, the cost of living, but an economy is simply the outward expression of what people believe has value. What if the purpose of an economy wasn't simply to create wealth, but to support the flourishing of life? We talk about the economy like it's the weather, something that happens to us, but it is built on a story about who deserves support and who has to earn it first. Most of us never wrote a word of that story. We just inherited the manuscript. And whether we realize it or not, those stories shape how we see ourselves and how we relate to one another. Most of us have inherited the belief that there is not enough. Not enough money, not enough opportunity, not enough security. And when that story takes hold, instead of participating in life, we begin protecting. Instead of trusting, we begin accumulating. Now, I don't believe that everyone should have exactly the same outcome. We each have different gifts, different callings, and different desires. Many people will naturally create more or build more or earn more because of the way that they choose to express their gifts. But I do believe that every human being deserves the foundations needed to live with dignity. Clean water, food, shelter, healthcare, the things that allow life to flourish. To me, these aren't rewards for success. You were born with a claim to them. They're part of our shared inheritance as human beings. Now, some people might say, well, that's what charity is for, right? But I've been questioning this too, because charity often decides if you qualify to be helped or whether others feel generous enough to give. Yet a healthy economy feels different. When someone stumbles, we don't ask whether they've earned compassion. We recognize that one day that may be us. Support isn't about creating dependency. It's about taking responsibility for yourself so fully that it becomes a gift to everyone around you. When I reflect on what I think of as an Edenic way of living, I don't imagine a perfect world. I imagine a different relationship, one where resources circulate rather than accumulate, where contribution arises from joy rather than fear, where receiving support carries no shame, and where people are seen as individuals, not simply problems to solve or numbers to process, and where our worth is remembered long before our productivity is measured. Perhaps that's where a new way of living begins, by changing the story that we carry about one another. That's the work, remembering who you were before anyone taught you to earn it. So, the monthly resonance note. This month, notice where life is already inviting greater circulation. Perhaps you're invited to receive support. Perhaps you're invited to offer it. Perhaps you're simply being asked to see someone's humanity before judging their circumstances. You might ask yourself, well, what would change if I measured success by the flourishing of life rather than the accumulation of more? Every generation inherits the systems that came before it, but every generation also has the opportunity to ask better questions. Perhaps the future is inviting us to remember what contribution and ambition were always meant to serve. life, and the understanding that none of us flourish alone. So if this month's pulse has brought something into awareness, some pattern that you're ready to understand more clearly, then you're welcome to reach out. Through soul guidance, I support you in reading what's actually shaping your experience and finding your way back to what feels true for you. Until the next month's pulse, when we trust we're provided for, we stop scrambling and we really start living.